Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Mr. Fred and Friends. I'm your host, Fred Schultz, and tonight we are talking WCPL. Now, as you know, I got a few shout-outs I'll give here in a few minutes, but second leg of the WCPL is coming up at Panhandle Paintball down there in Florida, and it's coming up quick. Today is Tuesday. Saturday it starts, and it's at a heck of a field. We've got one of the owners on here tonight. Steve Prisco is on with me, and they've done just a fantastic job with this field down there. And I got a couple guys that have played it and are going to be playing it again. I've got Steve Chop Up McRoberts coming on tonight, and Mr. Matt Courtney. We're going to be talking about last year and their expectations for this year. And last year was great. And I know Steve and Danny have worked pretty hard to make this year even better. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to talking to these guys. And, I'm going to do like I always do in all my shows. I'm going to ask these guys, except for Steve Prisco. I know how he got started, and I know what he's doing. But I'm going to ask the other two guys how they got started in paintball, because I know my viewers always like to hear that, but I definitely like to hear how somebody got started in paintball, because there's so many different stories, I mean, like a gazillion of them. I went to a birthday party, and it's just cool to really hear. I absolutely love it. So I'm looking forward to that. So you know what? Let me go ahead and read through these things here real quick and get these out of the way so I can drag these guys out here and we can start talking paintball, WCPL, paintball. All right. Okay, so Damon Fowler, he has Gator Melee, good friend of mine, terrific guy. He's having a tournament, a big game, Area 51, and it's August 3rd and 4th. It's at Outdoor Extreme up there in Western New York. And if you get a chance, Damon's a great guy. Got a terrific product. Absolutely love his product. The neck protector, and I guess he's making protectors for other parts of the body and everything like that. So anyhow, you get a chance, you're going to want to go check that out. All of these that I mentioned, everybody, everybody always talks, oh, yeah, I want to go support paintball. Well, if you want to support paintball, even if you're not going to play it, at least go out there, support the teams, walk around, show people that you're involved. And because what that does is, when people outside of the sport of paintball see the crowds, it's just like anybody, you see a crowd, you want to go over there and go, what's going on, man? Well, that's how you draw people in. So if you get a chance, just go out and check it out. And that is going to be August 3rd and 4th. One more time, Outdoor Extreme Western Paintball. And then obviously we're going to be talking about the upcoming Panhandle Paintball Tournament. So, I'm not going to talk a whole bunch about that right now, because we are actually going to devote the rest of the hour to this. And we're also going to find out how Steve Choppa McRoberts and Matt Courtney got involved in paintball. How'd you guys get started? So, you guys might want to think a little bit about that, because that's going to be the first questions out there. And then we're going to dive into the tournament itself. All right. And then Chuck up there in Mendocino Paintball. This is up in Northern California. Anyhow, he's having a deal June 14th through the 16th. And it's called Space Paintballs. Okay, it's a scenario game, and it's at Mendocino Paintball up there. And you get a chance. It's quite a ways up there up north, but these guys have been working very hard for paintball. So I want to give them a shout out. I give them a shout out every week until it happens. But you get a chance, you're going to want to go up there and check it out. And then also, I want to mention big game I got to go to a couple of years ago. It's Monte Casino. Okay, and that's at Paintball to Go. It's in Rude House, Illinois. Joe Schnelton and his wife Angie, they put this on every year. And it's the weekend after the WCPL in Florida. So it's April 12th, 13th, and 14th. And I got to tell you, really a cool field. They got pirate ships. And no, seriously, they have a pirate ship that you can run up, play inside. It's just crazy. If you get a chance, you're going to want to go there. It's absolutely great. And then a paintball explosion, and this is going to be in Dundee, Illinois. And this is October 6th, and it's going to be the Clowns versus the Zombies. My friend David Justin's going to be there, I think. I mean, all kinds of guys are going to be there. Ryan Greenspan, I believe, is going to head out there. So I'm going to try to make that one if I can. You're going to want to check that out. And then SC Village. I mentioned SC Village because Gio, the owner, is just a real good friend of mine. And what he does for paintball, it's just incredible. And they've got a thing. Well, April 13th, they're going to have Mentor a Rookie, where they're going to have rookies come out there and pro players are going to go mentor them, show them some moves, talk to them and stuff like that. And then April 27th, they're going to have a paintball fellowship. That's where everybody gets together and, you swap lies and have a good time, I guess. And also the big thing that they have is they have Camp SC Village. Okay. Now this is going to be for kids age 7 through 12. That's right, 7 through 12. And there are 4 days. There's 2 different dates, June 3rd through the 7th and June 10th through the 14th. And what you do is the parents can drop the kids off. They're taught how to play paintball safe. They got bubble ball, arrow tag, jelly ball, water balloon toss. They just got everything. And what they do is you drop the kid off at 9 in the morning. You pick them up at 4 in the afternoon. And they're chaperone the entire time, having a good time. So if you get a chance, SatCon Village is it's just great. I can't say enough about it. The owner Gio has put a lot of time in. As a matter of fact, in September, Bud Orr and I are going to be down there because Bud Orr and I have been playing paintball for 40 years this year, and SC Village has been there for 40 years this year. So we're all getting together and we're going to have a big game sometime in September. I believe it's going to be the middle of September. I'm not really exact on the date. I'll have to get that and I'll mention it next week. But if you get a chance, you're going to want to go down there. He's going to open up all the fields. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. I think we're going to get a couple thousand people down there to do it. So this should be just a lot of fun. So let me give my shout outs real quick. I start every week with my very, very good friend. I'll give him 3 varies because he deserves it. Mr. Tim Schloss. He has Gateway Paintball. And also he has the very last of the WCPL tournaments this year in October, like I said. And if you get a chance, it's just a terrific field. He's made a perfect field for playing pro paintball, but he also has like 12 other fields too. It's great. Gateway Paintball in St. Louis. Tim Schloss has done a great, great job on it. And then Dan Colby. I mention Dan every year because I started out 30 some years ago with Dan Colby with Air America. And I've been sponsored by him, which is now Immortal Air, him and his son John now. And he is also part owner of the field down there where the tournament's going to be held at Panhandle Paintball this coming weekend in Florida. So if you get a chance, like I say, you're definitely going to want to go check it out. Then my good buddy Bud Orr. Bud and I go back a lot of years. He is him and Tim Schloss, I have to say, and Dan are probably my 3 best friends in paintball and have been for many, many years. And I can't even tell you how much I think of Bud Orr. He has been just a terrific person for the sport, but for so many individual people. It's I'd like to tell you all the things that he's done and people he's helped, but I'd probably running into next week sometime. That's how much this guy has done over the years for paintball. But Bud watches every week, so Bud's probably watching right now, but I love the guy. Absolutely. Tom K, Airgun Designs. He was my sponsor for many, many years, and I mean many years. Great guy. And, if you look back, there's a lot of markers out there right now. But there's 3 markers that really have stood the test of time, and that's the Automag, the Autococker, and Dennis Tippmann, God rest his soul, Tippmann's gun. These guys have been around a long time, and they have made some terrific, terrific markers, and they're still out there banging away today. You got to love it. You absolutely got to love it. And then Rainey and Juvie Boucher, they had Paintball News back in the day. I know Juvie's in the hospital right now, so our prayers all go out for her. I'm not going to say much about it. I'm just going to say that these are 2 people that work very, very hard for paintball over the years. And I absolutely love them. And so, if you get a chance, you're going to want to throw a prayer out there for Juvie because she's going through some things right now that are not very good. And then Randy Camilla, APG back in the day, gave me my very first cover shot. Jerry Braun had Paintball Sport back in the day, and now we have Paintball Sport Field in Newburgh, New York, where the third of the WCPL tournaments will be held, and that one will be in June. And then Ross Alexander, Line SI. Ross was my very first marker sponsor. I actually still have my original Bushmaster that I started playing professional with when it was still 15-man teams and 45-minute games. Hello, 45-minute games. Unbelievable. Really a trip where things have gone to. I love it. And then Jim Lively. Let's start with Jim. Jim, there's 2 tournaments you wanted to do back in the day. Jim Lively's Masters, Jerry Brown's World Cup. It was like homecoming every time you go there because, like I always say about paintball, you look back, take a look at all your friends that you've got and think of how many of them have you met in paintball. And when you go to tournaments, you get to hang with these people that you normally would not go hang with. So, paintball is special in so many different facets. It's just, I don't know. It's hard to explain. To me, I feel so blessed that I got into the sport back at the beginning of '84. And I feel even more blessed now with the people that I've got to meet and the people I get to know and the people I get to call friends, all because of paintball. Thank you. And then I got to mention Gino from Velkin. I mention Gino every week. Gino does an awful lot of things behind the scenes for paintball. Yeah, he's a big conglomerate. Yeah, he's got a lot of things going on. And he spends a lot of money taking in and doing new products. And that stuff's very expensive, what he does. And behind the scenes, he helps all kinds of people that nobody knows about. And I'm kind of grateful I'm on the inner circle of this, but he's a terrific guy. And I have to mention him every week. Hey, Jeff Thompson up there in Canada watching us. Hey, love you, brother. And then my 2 young guns, Mark Gong Jr. and Jaden Gong. I mention them every week because their father, Mark Gong, played on my team Constant Pursuit back in the day. And he has raised his kids, him and his wife, Lily. The young guns are our future. So we need to definitely make them the priority. And attitude, if you want paintball to grow, attitude's everything. People see somebody coming off the field that never played paintball before, and they come off the field, they see him yelling and swearing and screaming. You're not going to want to let your kid go do it, and you're probably not going to want to go do it either. Like, screw this, So attitude's a big thing. Nobody likes losing, but, you don't have to make the other guy feel bad because you lost. Anyhow, let's get this thing going here a little bit. I'm going to start with the guy that's got one heck of a field down there. Works his butt off, makes it great, and he's a pretty nice guy, too, actually. Please, everybody, welcome Mr. Steve Prisco. What's going on, Steve?
I got to find my mic button because my dogs wanted to fight a little bit.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah, no problem.
How's it going?
It's going good, man. So you guys all ready for the weekend now, huh?
We are ready. It's all the final touches time, so.
Outstanding. How's the weather look?
It's spring here. I'm going to say that for sure. So bring Allegra or Benadryl or whatever it is you take. You guys might all get like, what did you guys get? Like 3 feet of snow or something recently in the middle. I hope everybody's okay from that. But it's today was 80 and windy and cloudy. Tomorrow we'll get to the field. It'll be about 55 in the morning. It'll be almost 80 by the afternoon, and it's every weather right now.
Very cool. Yeah. It was like 74 here today or 75. So, yeah, no snow.
Aren't you in California where it's like 74, 361 days out of the year?
No, that's San Diego. It's actually like that all the time. No, we actually go down to 55 down here. Yeah,
okay.
It's pretty. Yeah, 55. You really want to go out because nobody's out there.
Yeah.
Everybody's at home, man. Everybody's running around with parkas and everything on. So it's pretty cool. But I got a couple of cool guys on tonight that we're going to talk a little bit. They played the tournament last year, Steve, and they're going to be at your tournament again this year. And yeah, one of your real good friends, Chapa.
Chapa.
So, yeah.
Where'd you go? Oh, he's still backstage. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's I talked to him a little bit in the green room, and then we got Matt Courtney going to be on here tonight too. So these are two pretty cool guys, and I'm going to ask them once we get them on. I'm going to ask them exactly how they got started in paintball. Then we're going to dive into the WCPL Panhandle Paintball Tournament coming up. Sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan.
Right on, Steve. Well, let me start. I mentioned the Chapa, and I think I'm going to go ahead and bring him out. His real name is Steve McRoberts. Chapa is what everybody knows him by. Chapa is what is on his name tag on the show here. Please, everybody, welcome Steve Chapa McRoberts. How you doing, my friend?
Good evening. How you guys doing? I'm doing great.
I
live in Florida.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you sound like the other Steve, What's really funny too is my wife and I were actually and still are considering maybe moving down there. I don't know if I would move down to the central Florida, but I like it up there in the Panhandle. I think the Panhandle's pretty cool. The only bad part is they get cold weather too. 55 degrees is pretty much my limit for anything. So
yeah, I was gonna say we're the part of Florida, right, that people don't realize. Yeah, we get 30-degree weather
exactly
every once in a while in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I was born in Wisconsin, so I was brought up in Wisconsin, so I know all about the snow and the cold weather. We used to call summer 3 months of bad sledding because, it just seemed like it was always cold there. So, yeah, and then after I got out of the Navy, I was out here, and man, the sun was shining all the time, and I'm like, yeah, this is for me. So, I've been out here for a lot of years. And
you do have alligators here, though.
Yeah, you do have alligators here. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You got them all off the field, though, right, Steve?
Well, one of them lives just right by the 50 of one of the fields.
We don't count Danny. I'm not counting Danny. I'm talking about a real alligator.
No, okay. we didn't want to move him because he kept trying to bite us. So we're just we'll warn everybody where he's hiding.
Yeah, we'll play around.
It's like Happy Gilmore playing golf.
True story. I had an NPPL tournament down in LA years ago, and during the tournament, we actually killed 3 rattlesnakes during the tournament.
Oh, well, no, yeah. You don't have to worry about the dangerous animals.
And it was 111 degrees. Ooh. It was it was miserable. Everybody had a good time, but me. It sucked. Of course, you know that feeling, don't you?
Oh, I would have been the honest one. I've been like, no, it's too hot. This sucks. I hate this.
Well, there's a weird thing with the South, though, about the heat, the rain, the humidity.
We don't get that.
We fare a lot better when we do tournaments up north. We're adjusted, heat-wise. I played an event, a 10-man in Boston last summer, and just outside of Boston. And I think the highest attempt was with like 60% humidity. It was only 75 degrees. And these guys were sweating and complaining, and it was hilarious. Me and my buddies from Mississippi were laughing. It started pouring. The other teams are like running for the tents. We were like, yeah, this is Florida weather. Come on, let's go.
Well, the humidity, that's the killer part of it, Yeah. I mean, when there's like 50% of humidity, I'm sitting down, I'm moving too fast because, you're sitting there and you're just pouring sweat.
It gets as low as 50%.
Yeah.
I gotta write that down. That's a good one.
Look, I usually you look at the Weather Channel and it's like, 70%. Oh, it's going to be a nice day. All right.
Yeah, I know it. You're struggling to take a breath. Anyhow, I want to bring out our other guest here, a guy that's played your field before, and I believe he's going to play it again. And just a nice guy for the sport of paintball, because everybody I put on this show, I make sure they're good people for paintball, because we don't need bad people and supporting them. Please, everybody welcome Mr. Matt Courtney. What's going on, Matt? Uh-oh, can't hear you. Your mic.
Ta-da.
Ta-da.
Hey,
oh, perfect.
Thanks, Fred.
Oh, my pleasure. Who's that young man you got next to you?
Well, hold on a second here. Get in there, guys.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi, guys.
look at this, man.
There's
Wow,
my next
you're trying to
generation.
put together a whole team, huh?
Yeah, well, mom stopped me short of a 5-man, you know.
Yeah.
All right,
How are
good.
you guys this evening?
Go ahead, tell him.
Good.
Good. You guys, does Dad let you go out and play paintball?
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah, because you know the team your dad plays for, Legacy, is an absolutely terrific team. He's got some very good people on that team, and I think you guys would fit right in there.
These guys, well, let's see. He played at the Pro DNA in Tennessee last year. He was up at ICPL in Chicago a couple years ago with us, and all three of these are refs at our field on the weekends. So,
wow. And you know, can you imagine
No
how
wiping
they
in the snake with them for sure.
Yeah, that's it. You know, you can imagine how they are right now, Matt, and how they're going to be when they're, 16, 17, and 18. They are going to be tremendous players.
this one's already a hammer. He likes the snake. He shoots an EMEC. He's got an auto cocker. This one, he's got an auto mag classic and
There we go.
Cocker. So yeah. And this guy, he's kind of like, yeah, that looks painful. Not yet.
Jelly ball.
You like
It's
that
a
jelly
start.
ball, huh?
Yep, better.
Yeah, that jelly ball is a lot of fun, actually. Have you got a jelly ball marker?
Yeah, we've got some jelly ball. In fact, our mounds field, as soon as we got our mounds field finished, that was the first thing. 4 of us went out there and ran around, chased each other on the mounds field with no shirts on.
Oh, there you go. Well, you know what? That is so cool. You know, I got to tell you, Matt, I have a friend out here, Mark Gong, and a few years ago, he took his 2 sons out it was actually Father's Day and one of them's birthday. Okay. So after they did it, because you never heard about any kids playing. So after they did it, I says, he'd been my friend for years. I said, let's put the kids on and talk about it. Well, after we talked about it, I got calls from across the U.S. going, well, I've got a kid that plays. I've got a kid that plays. And that was actually the spearhead of people getting together, youth teams, to get them out there and build paintball. Matter of fact, Mark's watching right now.
I see that.
Mark, yep. I was just blowing your horn, Mark. And Mark was on my television show down at MGM Disney. And like I say, him and Lily, his wife, have raised their kids. These kids hammer too, just like your kids, Matt. You have to see these kids play. I mean, they just absolutely rock. But the attitude off the field is a huge thing, and they're just absolutely great. And I'm sure you do the same thing with your kids, Matt.
These guys got some pretty good compliments when we've had groups come out and they're reffing and they're dealing with adults, enforcing our safety standards and stuff like that. And so they've actually got their first 3-man tournament. Let's see. This weekend we head to WCPL, and then the following weekend we have a 3-man youth, 5-man, and 7-man here, and they're playing in the 3-man when they're not reffing. And then the following weekend we go over to Monte Casino, and then after that we've got I know we've got at least 2 groups booked for the 27th and 28th. Plus, I'm trying to do something called Frat Wars, which is get local fraternities, sororities, and college staff to come out and play. And then next month in end of May, I've got Bar Wars, local bars. So we got a lot of stuff going on.
So you got a slow couple of months coming up, huh?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Can't wait till they all get out of school so they can work this thing full time with me.
Yeah. I know the feeling, man. I got to tell you, I mean, for 12 years, I was only home about 8 days a month. The rest of the time, it was all traveling for paintball. It was just incredible. So, I'm not going to be able to make the Florida tournament this year. Kind of breaks my heart, but I can't fly right now, so I can't do it, and I can't do the Monte Casino.
No.
Yeah, I can't do either one of those. I went to Vegas. I thought I was getting better, but I went to Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and it just got worse. And nobody, Bud Orr's the only guy I ever talked to about this. But anyhow, the reason I'm not going is because I don't like these events, because I would give anything to go to these events. But I had heart surgery last Wednesday, so I'm not allowed to fly or to. Actually, I'm not supposed to do anything, but I still been bumming around, having a good time. So that kind of put the kibosh on everything that I got going right now. So hopefully, I'm going to be good enough to go to New York in June. We'll see what happens there. What's that?
How old are you?
I'll be 74 this year.
Oh my
Rock
God.
on.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Bud's like 80 years old, 79, 80 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Bud's kind of been, Bud and I are very tight, Bud is a terrific guy. And he just went through a heart surgery a few months ago, and I don't know. It sucks. Anyhow, I'll say that much. But anyhow, yeah, I'm trying to get out to New York. But I can't do any playing. I can't do any traveling on plane right now. So I'm just kind of sitting tight and healing up a little bit here. But, I still promote paintball. I just absolutely love the sport, And, just like I told Chapa, Matt, when we started this, I want to find out how you guys got started in paintball, because my viewers actually like to hear that, but so do I. I know how I got started, and I can tell you stories about some of the guys that that's absolutely a trip. But I'm gonna start with Chapa. Chapa, quick version. How'd you get started in paintball, my friend?
I lived in Maine for a good while. There's not a lot to do in Maine. Maine's awesome. It's beautiful. Moose, seals, skiing, snowboarding, all that stuff. But we had nothing to do in the summertime. There was a movie in 1985 called Gotcha. It's a horrible movie with Anthony Edwards and some other people, and the total crappy story. But they ran around with little Nell Spot 007s and shot each other in the malls, no mask, nothing like that. So we all thought that was cool. Fast forward a couple of years, the summer of 1989, we all had jobs, paper routes or whatnot, and we had saved up enough money to go to local field in Winslow, Maine, where we rented Bushmaster pumps. That's all they had out there. We played, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 tubes, played all day long, had a blast. I was hooked. A few weeks later, I bought one of those Bushmaster pumps. I had that for umpteen years. That was my, that was my marker back in the day when you had to weld parts on your own guns. I had that up until I joined the Army. I gave it to a friend, but that's how I got started. We all needed some outlet besides running through the woods and being idiots in the cornfields, and maybe running through cow pastures and being idiots. So we had to do something, and that outlet was paintball, and that's something we probably played 6 or 8 times, which back in the day was, for 14, 15-year-olds, very expensive. And we all hitchhiked like 25 miles to get to the field.
Wow. That's a good story, and paintball is still such a good outlet. I mean, when I started playing paintball, when I was in the flag station waiting for the whistle to start the game, I still play. When I still play, I still get the same sensation, believe it or not. And Bud's the same way, when we're in the flag station and you're waiting for that to go off. Now, obviously, we can't run to the 50 like we used to, I mean, our new 50 is like the 20 now, but, it's still just the adrenaline rush is absolutely terrific. So,
addicting.
Chapa, I understand exactly what you're talking about, my friend. So, and now, Matt, I want you to tell us how you got started in paintball. And then after that, we are going to talk a little bit about the WCPL.
Okay. Somewhere between 84 and 87. I grew up in Southeast Iowa, absolute Southeast Iowa, a place called Keokuk, right on the Mississippi River. And some way, somehow, I found a field called ATAG, Adult Tactical Airgun Games, run by Clyde and Maggie Glasscock. And, they've since passed. All of their rental guns were of the Nightmare family, Brass Eagle. Brass Eagle, King Cobra, Bushmaster, stuff like that.
I know all about Brass Eagle.
Yeah, you took them apart once, and then they never went back together the same. Everything was stripped out. So played out there, and like Choppa was saying, you had your 10-round tubes, and I was able to talk my dad somehow into buying me a Brass Eagle Nightmare long barrel. And then the cutting and welding began, where the direct feed was added, and then the Crossman stock with the CO2 constant air. Then I saved up my money and I bought a Line SI Bushmaster, after seeing, what was it, Navarone every month in APG with their 2-page ad, The Guns of Navarone.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And so I got one of those, and I got one of the 6-packs, the T-handle with the 6-pack quick change.
I still got one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then you're mentioning Dennis Titman.
Yeah, Denny. Yep.
And Choppa said he gave a gun away before he went into the Army. Well, yeah, shoot. I had an SMG 68 that still had an SMG 60 nameplate on the side of it.
Wow. With the little plastic clips?
No. See, mine was direct feed already.
Oh, okay.
But it still had the lower receiver from an SMG 60, I believe.
Right.
So they had just gone from 60 to 68. I gave that or sold that to somebody before I went in the Marines. But I've still got my PGP. I've got my Brass Eagle Nightmare in like 3 Ziploc bags and a Rubbermaid. And then I've got that Bushmaster laying around.
You're surprised what some of that stuff's worth. Those 6-packs are selling like $500-$600.
Yeah, I don't have the Rubbermaid for that one. I don't know where it went. It got sold 30 years ago when that seemed like old news.
When they first came out, the guy that I can't remember who made them, but they gave me one, and I never used it. I still have it here. It's still like brand new, never been on a marker. So it's pretty incredible, I got to tell you. And people talk about Brass Eagle, but Brass Eagle has got an awful lot of people into the sport of paintball. Jennifer Montresor is watching right now. Now you guys know Jennifer, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyhow, her son Tim was very good for paintball, and Jennifer and her husband Frank have kind of taken the reins from him. But to make a long story short, I was on Steve McGuire's show one time, and this is when I actually met Jennifer, and she came on, and she told a story that her son Tim, they had bought him my tape. I put a tape out called The Fun of Paintball with Fred Schultz, sold 1 million copies, and thanks to Brass Eagle. And make a long story short, he watched that tape so much that it became grainy, and they had to buy him another one. And when she told me that story, I got to tell you, and it still sticks in my head to this day, because Tim was a big influence in the sport of paintball at that time, and that just really made me feel good. And Jennifer and Frank, they still go out, and Frank doesn't play, but Jennifer still gets out and bangs away, man. I got to tell you.
She'll be here this weekend.
Absolutely. Yeah, she lives down in Florida, yeah. Yeah, she will be. And, Steve, I know you've been working. Last year, when we played, I thought the fields were great. Danny's like, oh, we're going to add this. Oh, we're going to do this. But I thought the fields were great then. So what did you guys do? I mean, have you added more bunkers? What have you done?
We took all the feedback from last year. We took action everywhere people were talking about. So obviously, fields, you got to replace the bunkers all the time. So a lot of the bunkers have been changed out, moved around. In the woods, the 50 is chopped. You got to see it today. You snuck by the field.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, you were allegedly there. If anybody with 3 letters on their jacket is listening,
right?
Sorry. So, but yeah, we changed up the 50, and we did it after we were done for the day on Sunday, so that everybody sees it for the first time and nobody gets to play it until the event. It's very, very similar, but we made, Chop, would you say a major change to the Center 50?
Bigger than subtle, but not major.
Bigger than subtle. All right, fair enough.
When you guys or the players get out to the field, especially the boat field is a joke. It's still going to play pretty fun, like last year. And I really think people are going to like that stuff right around the 50 area. I think they're going to get a kick out of that.
I think they will too.
I liked the fields when I played them. I thought they were great. I didn't have a problem with any of them. But you're right, swapping bunkers around and the way you did it by waiting until after the last weekend so that nobody got to see it. I did that when I did Northern California one last year up at Shooters All Season Paintball in Nicholas, California. I didn't lay it out until 3 days before the tournament. And people were coming in and playing it, but they didn't know where the flag stations were going to be.
Yeah.
They didn't know any of that. So, and the reason I did that, and I hope this is why you did it, it kind of makes an even playing field for the guy that doesn't really get to get there, a week early and check it out, man.
That's exactly right. There's so many teams coming in for this. I think locally for the guys that could come out and just play if they wanted to play it ahead of time. But we have 2 teams signed up that are that local. The other 8 are all coming from all over. So, they don't get to practice on the field, unless they want to, spend a whole lot of money traveling.
Yep. You got Jamie Conley's watching and John Colby is watching also. And I'd put them up, but they're coming up Facebook user.
You probably have to censor John anyway.
Yeah, I know. I don't know about you guys, but I have a big screen TV. That's how I can see things. But, most people come up as Facebook user. I look on my phone down here and I can see their names. So pretty interesting. But we've got they're watching right now. That's pretty cool. I love it. So I'm going to jump over to Matt here real quick. Now, Matt, you play with Legacy, correct?
Correct. Yeah, hey, shout out to Jamie Conley. You talk about youth. He's started something down there at Extreme in St. Louis. Torrey Briguglio's field, Sal Briguglio, the legend.
I know all about him.
Something going on called Next Gen, and he's bringing. Gosh, I think he's bringing 4 3-man youth teams up to our practice. So
very cool.
Jamie's the man there with Prime Suspects. I played with Prime Suspects 2 years ago at Rico's field. Gator when WCP was there.
Gator, yeah, he sold it now. Yeah.
Okay, so that's where I played in Florida with WCPL. I've played the last 3 years WCPL, or 2 years in New York. The year before that is Woods Ball World Cup. And then last year I played Gateway in St. Louis at Tim's Field.
That's a great field, isn't it? The way it's got that laid out.
It's awesome. Yeah, what he and what's that ugly looking jarhead that's always hanging around with Tim?
Bailey.
Oh, Bill Bailey. Yeah.
Yeah. First time I didn't pick up on the jarhead, but the minute you said ugly, I knew.
First time I met Bailey was Northeast Oklahoma, about 2005 or 7. He's running around on top of a Panzer tank.
I know it. The German guy.
5,000 on each side. Awesome.
Jamie Conley, I actually have one of his jerseys here. He gave me one of his jerseys a couple of years ago. I thought was really, really cool. And so I've got, I can't even tell you how many jerseys I have. You guys, you'd think I was lying, but anyhow, he gave me one of his jerseys and I was very, very happy to have it. I think he actually played in it and then gave it to me. So I thought that was very, very cool. I absolutely loved it. Here he is. He said, "Thanks, Goose. I put that up for you."
Yeah, so actually, I did not play the WCPL in Florida last year. We made the honest mistake of going to Pro DNA that week, and just got slaughtered in the ICPL. So this year, the guys are like, "Hey, let's go play something a little more, with a little less attention, but still amazing caliber." So,
back in the day. Back in the day, Matt, it was all about, when you're on the field, you want to kick everybody's butt. First, let's start there. But off the field, it was like a camaraderie with everybody. when we did the WCPL out here last year up at Shooters, I mean, on the field, like I say, everybody was out there banging away, but off the field, they were helping each other. Teams were helping each other. People were laughing and joking. I mean, there was no coming off and swearing and you're a cheater and all this other garbage, And that's kind of what we stress. And that's kind of what we work for is, do we plan on being the biggest in the world? Absolutely not. I don't want to be the biggest in the world. I want people to come to our events and go out after they're done and go, you know what? I had a great time with some great people. And I got to tell you, Matt, your team came over to me last year and they asked me, they go, would you come over and take a picture with me? And
we had everybody out there.
Yeah. And I came over and took a picture, and I got to tell you, I started talking to that group, and Legacy is just, it's always been in my mind ever since that, number one. But number two, they were so nice about everything. Great players on the field, no jokes out there. But man, off the field, ladies and gentlemen, like that's what makes paintball grow, is stuff like that. So you're hooked up with Legacy. You could not be hooked up with a better team. I think they're absolutely great.
1998, I got out of the Marines the first time around. Came back to Southeast Iowa, started a team called Bad Karma. And every time we played any local event, it was Bad Karma and Legacy. Just the auto mags on Legacy, or auto mags on Bad Karma, hammered out with the autocockers on Legacy. And finally, I think there was a 10-man at Sudden Impact over in McLean, Illinois. Mark Davis was there. The aftershock was coming down, and the two teams combined, and the rest is history. We've been a core group, and actually one of the guys got us back together. I guess the last time I played with Legacy was October of 2001, right after 9/11. And then I went back in the Marines, and Legacy went on for, till 2005 or so, and then kind of split up. And then in 2020, when COVID hit, one of the guys reached out and started trolling everybody on Facebook and found all of us, and we started playing again. We played a tournament at Yeager's, the underground field over there in Kansas City. It's in a cave. But we played that, and then it's been, it's one thing after the next.
Yeah, well, it's just the team's attitude. That to me is a big thing, and I just absolutely loved it. I sat and I talked to them after they came over. After we took the pictures, which I actually still have. I actually printed a copy of it. I have it in the other room, and I see it pop up all the time on the internet.
Well, I mean, you got Prime Suspects in there. You got Total Grief. Sal's boys coming back on the field. You got the band there to include Mark Davis, Bud Orr. Oh my God, the legends. First time I met you, Fred, was New York a couple years ago. Woods Ball World Cup.
Could be.
You
I
guys.
Think that was I think that was my 30th anniversary playing that tournament.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember the care package at the front desk? Epson.
Hey, no, these things are recorded. They're recorded. Leave it as care package, Fred. Just leave it as care package. You don't have to say what's in it.
Yeah, I think Danny still is pissed about it.
Yeah,
I won't get into that, but that was hilarious. Oh
my God, we put the pins in there, Epsom salt, all the old stuff. Rob Walker with Fox.
Yeah, Rob did it, but and it was funny, and I'm not going to mention it. I'm gonna let this one slide, but it was hilarious. And those that were there got a real treat, man.
Good stuff.
Steve, yeah, you heard about it, didn't you, Steve?
I didn't. I was trying to make a joke, but I'm sure I'm going to hear about it.
I'll tell you off screen.
All right.
Yeah, I'll tell you in the green room afterwards.
My very first tournament was like 1987. There's 40 two-man teams on the field. It was at Wacky Warriors there in St. Louis.
Yep.
And it was a shotgun start, literally. That's the first time I met Jessica Sparks, and I don't know who was her right hand back in the day when she was running around with Nelson. Would have been Ron Kilborn?
No, not Ron.
Oh, Ron.
Ron. God. I was at the World Cup one more time. I was at Vegas a few weeks ago, and Ron Kilborn was actually there. So I haven't seen Ron in a gazillion years, man. But yeah, she hung out with Maynard, Russell Maynard.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah.
Because they used to come to Hawaii.
Yeah.
When I was stationed with the Marines in Hawaii, I played for Team Ronan, and like Aaron Carter, Ken Kidd, Wes Wong.
Yeah. Wes Wong. Yeah, Wes was with us. We did a fundraiser for Lynn Trong a couple of months ago, and Wes Wong was actually there. I put him on the show. We did a live shot from down there, so we actually talked to Wes, and it was actually pretty cool. I hadn't seen him in years either. You guys both know Bud, right?
Oh yeah,
Choppa, you know Bud?
Bud Ori? Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was the first super gun I got was an STO.
Oh, really?
A Cocker. One of the first things I bought when I got out of the Army full time.
I'd like to send him an invite, see if he's watching. I don't know if I can. I don't want to click everybody off here. Hold tight a second, everybody. Let me see if I can do this. Oh,
the first time I met him was at probably 01 or 02 Mardi Gras in New Orleans.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he wanted to talk with everybody. He had time for everybody. No question too crazy. Him and his son were taking everyone's guns as long as they weren't certain cockers. He just didn't. It's like, no, we're going to work on my stuff, but you can take those lockouts and you can do whatever you want with them, but I'm not working on them.
I don't know if he's watching. I can't see, but I just sent him an invite. If he's watching, he'll pop up here. It takes him a few minutes to get on. So, but you guys, I know you're looking forward. I wish I could be there, Steve, this year.
That's all right.
My heart. Yeah, I know. But, it was one of my, it became one of my favorite ones. Like the New York is one of my favorite ones,
Yeah.
And, both of these guys, Matt and Chop, are going to both be there. I could hang out with them and,
Oh, yeah.
I think you met him. Didn't you guys meet last year?
Yes.
I met Choppa, yeah. But I don't
and we
think
were
Matt
on
was there last year.
And before that, the first time I met you we were on B's podcast a few years back.
On whose?
B Young's.
Oh, is that right? Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know if it was because I did her first podcast when she did her first podcast. I don't know if it was that one or one after it.
This was probably I got to say the 22 season. So around that time, I was on the first show briefly. She even had a weird little segment for me, which was really hilarious.
Oh, very cool.
And my whole deal was to get the other panelists to swear.
Oh, really?
So I had to ask them, questions about paintball trivia, but the answer was always, we will F you up or something. And it was so hilarious. After it, he was like, "Hey, I don't think we could do that anymore." Oh, that was fun.
I'll tell you, I'm going to do something. I was going to do it at the end of last year, but we're going to set it up here pretty soon, and it's going to be called Late Night with Mr.Fred. And I've got my first guests I'm going to have on are David Bell. You know David Bell? He invented View Loader.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. David's going to be on, and Gino and a couple other guys. Make a long story short. Now, this is probably, I won't be able to do it now because I'm going to tell you guys, but we were going to all have a drink, okay? And we were going to have Danny on, Dan Colby. And every time Danny said the F word, we were going to take a drink. But then we started talking to each other.
That was the last time I was on the show.
Remember? We figured we would be hammered within 5 minutes.
If that does happen, invite me.
I will.
Oh, Chop, you're coming to the event.
Shout out to my boys on Legacy. Bradshaw said it wouldn't take my shirt off, so there it is.
Oh, there you go. Right on, man.
Well, I got to get one in too. Then hold on.
Oh wait, are we gonna?
Oh no, keep it on. Keep it on. Oh, okay.
It just says ragtag bitches.
Nice. Oh,
They said I wouldn't do it. I was like, I'm not going to do anything crazy. So,
Yeah,
but just to be funny. Yeah.
Of course you
why
are.
I keep my G rating. So,
But this is a different version of me, Steve. Come on now. This is not me 4 years ago. So
That's true. That's true.
yeah.
You're humble now.
It's not a tournament if I haven't mooned somebody as I'm walking off the field.
All right, so we're officially going to call this an event instead then. How's that?
Uh-oh. Matt, funny story. There was this local event here, Toys for Tot, every year, and I did it 4 years in a row. And the joke, we all drank and had a good old time and messed around and act like idiots. But for the team picture of all the teams showed up, I'd kind of show like half a moon. And my dog's trying to drink my drink here. And I guess the field owner finally had enough of it. And unfortunately, he shot me in the middle with a paintball gun in the middle of the whole group. Kind of ended that whole story.
My God, yeah.
The good old days.
I don't think the statute of limitations is in all the crazy pranks I've pulled, so I'm not going to discuss those.
Yeah,
no.
I won't even get into it. Back in the day, we messed with every. I mean, it was totally different back in the day. I mean,
oh yeah,
the Ironman, Constant Pursuit and the Ironman, we all lived together out here. Okay, so we practiced every weekend. That's how we practiced, was against each other. And Black Sunday, and so we pranked each other all the time. It was I can tell you some of the stuff it'd blow you away.
It wasn't just the teams. It was the companies, the vendors. We all got in on that. I don't know how many teams noticed the prank wars between us, but I was always the guy behind the scenes. So
that happened to Air America back in the day. I'm trying to remember, somebody put something out that they were going to give something free or something. God, I cannot remember it. But Danny was livid. He was going crazy. I'm like, oh my God.
I remember that, and this goes back to the Chicago Open when it was held by the water park.
Right.
Balmoral.
Yeah.
Remember the big slide there?
I should remember it because I lived.
There was nothing like getting all nasty, doing the paintball thing, whatever your version was, and then running right to the slide and hey, you got to change. And people in JT pants going down. I'm surprised we were not banned from that area earlier.
I remember. I can't remember who was doing it, but somebody was giving away a Henway. Yeah. And there were flyers. Yeah, it was. It was a Henway giveaway.
A Henway, huh?
Yeah, giving away a Henway. So, all you had to do was with the flyer, you go enter it, and it was no big deal. You just had to talk to somebody first. I don't think it was Air America that had to do that though. I forget who that was.
Oh, I can't remember what it was, but I know that Danny was livid, and it was funny too. And then he went back and he got going with the guy too. So he pranked the guy also, But back in the day, it was rampant. It was. I mean,
there were. If you come to these events, you get to hear the stories. How's that?
Yes.
Yeah, because there are some stories that I know
that's true.
I'm not sure. I'm not gonna talk about it. They are hilarious. Hilarious.
You can't help it because you hear a story from one guy, you want to tell your story.
You do, yeah.
Fred, and, for a late night deal, maybe for a thought, as this stuff really happened in paintball stories.
Well, we were gonna, and that can come out too. It just is, I do this show, and a lot of kids watch this show. They watch this show in 10 different countries, guys. Okay, but a lot of kids watch this show, so I try to keep it
PG-ish.
Okay, yeah,
Ohio's the diamonds.
Yeah, and but the late night with Mr.Fred, that's going to be off the wall. Matter of fact, I think I might even put that together in the next couple of weeks, seeing that I'm kind of hanging out here now and not being able to run around like I'm used to.
You can, you know what? That's like at the field. Those who don't stick around. It's not like some events where you show up, you play 7 games right away and then go leave. You know,
Yeah.
you're going to be there for the day, hanging out, talking, sharing these stories. You know, and those that stick around, you know, even after the games have ended for the day, it's it's like campfire stories, Fred.
Well,
You
that's
know,
exactly what it is,
Oh
like
yeah.
sitting around a campfire. And, that's one thing that when Kevin Donaldson came to me a couple of years ago and he asked me to be part of the WCPL, if I wanted to be one of the owners. And we sat and we discussed, what the format was going to be. And we both knew it wasn't going to be easy because, there's like a gazillion tournaments out there and everything like that. But we're starting to get a little bit of a following now. And the reason we're getting the following is because people go to these events and just have a good time, cut and dry.
we have team limits. There's a
yes,
at
exactly
a certain
right.
point, it's no longer a classic event. It's
Mine. I will not go over 16 teams out here. That is my cutoff for it. Period. I'm always happy with 10. To be honest with you.
yeah.
Everybody gets to play their heart out. Everybody has a good time, and it seems like the camaraderie, the people getting together is so much easier for some reason. When there's like a gazillion teams, it's like back in the day. Back in the day, for me, it was like a business, and I had everybody watching me. I mean, even the guys that played on the team, they're watching me. My sponsors will watch. It just, you're always under a microscope. And now I go to these things with the band, me and Bud and them guys. Man, we just want to go kick it, have a good time, go and shoot at people, let them shoot at us, win, lose, or draw. And everybody talks about going and winning. Nowadays, when I go to these tournaments, I get there, I feel like I've already won just hang out with everybody. That, to me, is the win. So before I even get on the field, I consider myself a winner, period. And that's what the WCPL has done. I just think it's absolutely terrific. I'm glad to be a part of it. I really, really am. So
I'm happy to be a part of year 2 of the Panhandle deal. So
yeah,
this is going to be fun.
Yeah, Choppy, you and Matt, you're the kind of guys that we really love coming out and playing the sport, because we get some terrific, terrific people that come out and play these tournaments. And, you heard me talk earlier about, being good for paintball. There's all kinds of lip service in this, and people don't understand. Everybody wants their damn piece of the pie. But if they all work together, the pie'd be so big that their piece would be enormous. But, I don't know about there, but out here, there's some fields that if you go play another field, you can't play their field. And, stuff like that just garbage.
That's 2000 type talk. Here in Pensacola, we had like 5 fields from say 99 to 2005, 6, maybe even 2009. But all the fields started out trying to be friends. I don't know how it got bad. John Runnels will tell you stories if you ever want to hear. Steve-O, probably know him already. But you couldn't play at Panic and then go to John's field, or you couldn't play at Let's Play Paintball and then play at Panic and then go to this field, because it was kind of a mob mentality between all the teams.
Absolutely, and that's wrong. Go ahead.
And we had a lot of really good players coming out of our area, the Panhandle, at that time. And not that we could have had maybe a junior pro team or something. We had Timmy Probst, if you know that. He's from here. My dog doesn't like Timmy.
Well, I just think that I got that saying, if we all work together, we make paintball bigger and better. And one thing I try to do with this show, since I got back into the paintball here, is I try to bring on people and introduce them to each other. And I got to tell you, a lot of people I brought on this show, first of all, you got to be good for paintball. You don't come on my show. I mean, I'll come on and talk by myself for an hour before I'll put somebody on that sucks. But what I don't do is I don't say you can come on, but if you have this product, you can't come on. I put on all products. I put on anybody that's good for the sport. I don't care who you play for. I don't care who you're sponsored by. It does not make any difference to me. A good example, Tankersley, John Tankersley. Love the guy, great guy. He had Jolly Ball, okay? And then Gino, Love the guy too. Him and I've been friends for 30 some years. He came out with Gel Blaster. So what do? I put one on one week and one on the next week.
Yeah.
You know, give everybody the chance, period. You know, and Chapa and Matt, you know, you guys, the reason you guys actually came on here is I wanted good guys to talk about the tournaments coming up at Panhandle Paintball, because I know how hard Steve and Danny have worked to do this thing. And that is the reason I brought you guys on. And, you know, maybe somewhere down the line now, maybe you two guys and myself, or you two guys and Steve, can work on doing something that's productive for the sport of paintball.
All about it.
Yeah. That's, I mean,
I got
25 years and counting, right?
Yeah, you're still.
I'm the young guy. I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys knew that. I'm the young one here.
Shoot.
Yeah, Steve.
We just opened our field, Great River Paintball. We just got through all the planning and zoning about a year and a half ago. And so, I mean, we are definitely the new kids on the block.
Where are you located, Matt?
About 2 hours north of St. Louis. If you know where Quincy, Illinois is, we're right across the river.
Okay.
35 miles south of Keokuk, Iowa, where I grew up. We're out in the middle of nowhere. I'm on an island. There's not another field with no kidding. There's no other fields within 100 miles of us. And this used to be there used to be a handful of fields around here. It died out. Property values have gone so crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And hunting, you know, we're right across the river is Adams County, Illinois, which is the golden triangle for deer. Adams County, Hancock County, and Pike County. So, you know, guys don't want to turn their deer hunting paradise into a paintball field.
Right.
Over here, my ground, we've got 51 acres here. We are literally right on a highway. You turn off onto our chip and tarred lane. Of the 51 acres, we've got 30 of it commercially zoned. I've got a hyperball field, mounds field, and then like probably anywhere 6 to 8 acres of woods dedicated to paintball. But I can to woods. I can open up that entire 30 acres and we say big game and go. But
well, you know, Matt, if there's any way I can help you in any of this, let me know. You know,
add me to that banner behind you that says "We can't play." Yeah, world.
We
class
can't play long.
We can't play long. There you go. I like it. That's awesome.
No, it's world classic. Come on.
Yeah. No, I love it. That's pretty cool.
Put 2 out there on the East Coast, 2 on the West Coast between Florida and New York, and 2 in the Midwest, being Gateway and my place. And
well, you never know. You never know. You know, you got the right attitude. Believe me. I know they want us to.
We need an old classic snow game every year.
Nice having you on, Steve.
Nobody plays in this. I moved to Florida to get away from the snow.
I got you.
Playing that stuff.
Right on. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. You know, we've kind of blown over our hour here.
Very fast hour.
Yep. I'm going to start with you, Matt. First of all, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on tonight. Anything that we can do to help you with your field, contact me and we'll see what we can do. You know, maybe you could have a big game and we can publicize the heck out of it and get some people there to make them aware that you're there and get them out there to play.
Hey, Fred,
I'll try and roll out.
You just did it. I mean, having me on here to run off the head with you guys for the last hour and 5 minutes. You know,
this is paintball.
Yeah, Matt, this isn't the last time you're going to be on. I'm going to bring you back on again.
Monte Casino just celebrated 20 years, right? Last year.
Yeah.
I think my first run with them was about 87. I wrote an article. I gave it to Jessica, and it went in APG. So
I know about APG.
One year I will remember that the Allies have to climb the hill every year.
They do.
Because I hate climbing that hill.
It's a big one.
But I like playing the game. One year I will remember. But
well, Matt, I'm going to let you say goodbye to everybody. I'd like to invite you to come back on again sometime if you would. And
I want to miss you this weekend, Fred. Miss you.
Looking forward to meeting you, Matt.
Steve.
Thank you for coming on. Go ahead and say goodbye to everybody, my friend.
See you later.
Mention your field one more time and where it's at.
Great River Paintball, Maywood, Missouri.
Terrific. All right, Matt, you have a good evening.
See you guys. Thank you.
Bye, Matt.
What a great guy. Love it. I just love having good people on, man. I mean, it's a rush. It is. I absolutely love it. Choppa, you're next, my friend. I would like to invite you to come back on my show again.
I would love to.
I thought you were absolutely terrific tonight. You and Matt both were great. I'm going to let you say goodbye to everybody, but I want to thank you up front for taking the time to come on here tonight.
Thanks for bringing me on, Steve-O. I will see you Friday. And Fred, continue on your road to being awesome, so you can come back out and hang out with us.
I will, and I appreciate it.
We will see you soon. Thank you, guys.
A lot, my friend. Steve, what two good guys to have on.
I know. I told you.
Yeah, no, you.
I saw. I was like, oh, you got Chava. All right, this is going to be good.
Yeah, and you're right. Both him and Matt, really entertaining guys. They, I like having guys that are entertaining and knowledgeable. And both Matt and Choppa were both of that. They were both entertaining, and they were just great. I love it. And if you hang out in the green room, we'll talk in a minute in the green room.
All right. I got to hear that story. So
yeah, I'm going to let you say goodbye to everybody. But up front, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on tonight, my friend.
Oh, you're more than welcome. And we'll see. I hope a lot of you. Friday. It's coming up 3 days. So 72 hours or so. We'll start seeing everybody. But have a good night for now.
And Sunday night you can rest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll sleep next Monday when we're done.
I love it. You stay safe, my friend.
All right. Thanks, Fred.
Mr. Steve Prisco, one of the coolest fields out there, Panhandle Paintball. If you're anywhere around the Panhandle, northern Florida, go check this out. You're going to absolutely love them. And remember, tomorrow night, Kenny Stewart, Bill Bailey, they have the Night at the Museum. Great show. These two guys have a museum. Cut and dry. Call it what you want. They have an absolute museum. So if you get a chance, you're going to want to go and check them out. And their show's on tomorrow night at the same time this one is now, 6 o'clock Pacific time, 8 o'clock Central time, their time, and 9 o'clock on the East Coast. So, everybody, I appreciate all the get well stuff. I can't ever say enough about my viewers. I can't say enough about my good friends, Tim Schloss, Bud Orr, Dan Colby. These guys mean the world to me. And if you get to know them, they'll mean the world to you too. You'll see what I mean. So if you get a chance, go meet all these guys. And this is going to be a great tournament. The one in New York is going to be a great tournament. The one out here in Northern California is going to be great in August. But I got to tell you, if you're looking for one, that's going to be, we're going to make this one a real blowout this year. And that's going to be Tim Schloss's at Gateway Paintball. That one's going to be in October. We're going to knock that one out of the park. All right. Again, I appreciate so much you guys watching. Remember, when we all work together, we make paintball bigger and better. So until next Tuesday evening, 6 o'clock Pacific time on Facebook, on Flag Pole Production, please play hard, play safe, play fair. Get out there and play paintball, huh? All right, guys. Bye now.